All right. Hello and welcome back to First Amendment Media Sports. Early Tuesday morning here, 5:45, ready to go. I'm not ready to talk about NFL Week 12, Ben.
I am. Let's get this over with.
Dude,
I'm on to April, man. I'm on to April.
me too at this point. We'll go ahead and start with the Thursday games because, I mean, it's Thanksgiving. You got to be able to go back over those. So you got to start with the Packers and the Lions. Apparently the Lions have lost... Yeah, we'll get into picks here in a second. You can celebrate then. So apparently the Lions have lost like 7 in a row, which to me, or the 7 in a row on Thanksgiving, excuse me.
Well, yeah, that's why I picked the Packers.
Yeah, that's okay. All right. Again, we'll get into that in picks. But the Packers took this one 29-22. I mean, Jordan Love is looking like what we expected him to look like at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's definitely hitting that. He's hitting his stride. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to completely be like, oh yeah, I'm not all in on Jordan Love yet.
Yeah.
One game doesn't tell you anything.
Yep.
And but it's nice to see that he's doing well.
Yeah.
22
of 32, 268, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Also, the running game, I mean, it was there. Like, that's the best way to put it, to be honest with you. But Christian Watson, second week in a row, I believe, he scored a touchdown, 5 for 94 and a tutty. Then you also had, the South Dakota kid going out there scoring his first touchdown. First touchdown for Tucker Kraft. Jaden Reed has also looked really good this year. He had 4 for 34 and a touchdown. But Rashawn Gary, the stud defensive end, 3 sacks on the day. And for the Lions, I'm not necessarily worried because I know that Jared Goff and this offense and the rest of this team, like, they're still a very good team. I think that they need to give the ball a lot more to Jahmyr Gibbs because he seems to be a better playmaker for this team at this current moment in time.
Gibbs?
Yeah, Gibbs. Give the ball more to Gibbs. That's my thought.
I agree.
But then also Amondre St. Brown, 9 for 95. I mean,
that's still not a good stat line for St. Brown.
100%,
Not when you're scoring. Not when you need 30 to win. That's not a good stat line for. He has to. I mean, he has to be one of the guys.
Yeah,
and it does seem like they're. I don't want to say shying away from him, and a lot of that has to do with coverage. I understand that, so don't freak out, everybody. But he's still got to get open.
Yeah, he's got to do his thing. And I think, the rookie tight end Sam Laporta's looked really good. If you don't have him in fantasy, I recommend it. But, there's nothing to panic here with the Lions. But I think the Packers are...
I don't know.
You don't think...
I think the Vikings loss makes it a little bit not so much panic with the Lions. But
the Packers are coming.
Yeah,
right,
I mean,
I did not see that coming. Like, I thought that, the Packers looked like over the last couple of weeks before.
See, but the same thing happened. The emergence of Watson. And now, if Watson can put it together and all of a sudden Jordan Love starts to find a stride, not great stats, 268, 3 touchdowns. But the no interception thing is huge. Yeah,
that's true. You got to take care of the football, especially in a game like this in division. But defensively for the Lions, no sacks were registered, but overall they did take the loss here, 29-22. It is what it is overall. But I think the Packers,
their defense is very good too.
Yeah,
I think their defense is what is good to see that it's finally finding its stride too.
Well, the Packers defense, like, I feel like. And I could be wrong in saying this, but ever since like the Mike Zimmer era, I would say they've had a top 15, top 10 defense. Like, they're pretty good.
Yeah,
but this year they seem tough.
Well, in big games they seem to step up too.
Yeah, exactly. And so now, how? I mean, it's the Cowboys.
My kids are gonna kill me. The Cowboys don't look bad, but the Cowboys are still the 3rd to 4th best team in the NFC.
Yeah, that I would agree with because you got to look at the Eagles right now. Nobody's touching the Eagles. I think that
even when you think you got the Eagles ain't getting got.
Yeah, it's like I don't know what it is. Like they're 10-1 right now. They're flying high.
The NFL script has Jason Kelce winning a Super Bowl and going out on top.
That would be okay with me.
I would be great with that.
That would be fantastic. Yes. But the Dallas Cowboys right now 8-3, looking like they got some stuff done here. So we got to talk about the Commanders first. Sam Howell, I love this man in terms of what he brings to the table. Just chuck it up and try to make a play. But overall, the Commanders are not really giving him a ton of help.
But the thing about it is, and this is coming from obviously a Patriot background.
Yeah.
And it really makes you pay attention to the quarterback play, honestly, and how the teams react to the quarterback play. When we get to Minnesota, I'll talk about Minnesota too. Mm-hmm. But to allow Sam Howell to go out every week and understand, hey, we're not going to be world beaters.
Yeah.
We're not going to be the team this year. But you know what? We're going to continue to let this guy grow.
Yeah. Then I can appreciate
that as a team. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think
because
so
too. There's certain teams that aren't allowing that.
Yeah, and it's like it's one thing if a team is out there and like just like you said, like not giving them any opportunity, but to give them the opportunity to learn from their mistakes, actually give them an opportunity to grow as a quarterback in the NFL is so huge.
Build around them.
Yes, and that's what we saw with Peyton Manning. That's what we saw with in Tom Brady to a degree, but I felt like he didn't really make a lot of mistakes though. It was Tom Brady.
The more I see it, Tom Brady was the Patriot way.
Yeah, that was it. That was it was just Tom Brady, but. It is what it is. But overall, Sam Howell finished 28 of 44, 300 yards, no touchdowns, 1 pick. Brian Robinson, 15 carries for 53 yards. Also, Curtis Samuel, 9 catches for 100 yards. Jahan Dotson, 5 for 52. And Terry McLaurin, 4 for 50. Defensively, it is what it is for the Commanders. No sacks registered. And, you get kind of woodshedded here. 45-10, it is what it is. I don't think anybody...
The thing about it, though, is like, the second quarter, at the end of the second quarter, it's 20-10.
Yeah.
So,
horrible.
They
25 unanswered in the fourth.
Yeah, and
that's right.
Let's be honest. Like in the fourth quarter, you're down by 10.
Yeah.
You're not really moving the ball.
Mistakes happen.
If you look at the Cowboys stat line, you see that a lot.
Yeah.
Like, hey, let's run it up and this ain't college football.
No, I know. Yeah. And plus, and I think that this is going to be...
It's going to backfire.
I think they need to go into a good team and they need to do this. It's different
they
when you...
won't. They can't.
It's not...
They can't.
You play the Giants great. You play the Commanders great, whatever. I want to see you do it. Go in there against the Eagles, get it done, not lose by a touchdown.
Hey, the Giants aren't a bad team.
The Giants... No. Kind of a tender subject. We'll get into that game here in a second. But Dak Prescott, 22 of 32, 331 and 4 touchdowns. Tony Pollard had a touchdown as well. Overall, they spread the ball out very well.
Brandon Cooks
continues to get it done. 4 for 72 and a tutty. CeeDee Lamb, 4 for 53.
That could be one of the bigger ads.
I think so too, because I know he's been around to a lot of different teams, but he's still got it. He's still going out there and getting it done.
He's like that girl that just bounces around where it's always good arm candy,
750. I'm just kidding. Yes, you're not wrong. Oh, DaRon Bland. I want to go back here because we were talking about DaRon Bland. I want to say a month and a half ago, something like that. And I was talking to you about him, and I said, "Hey, DaRon Bland's a player," and you're like, whatever. It is what it is. Or I don't remember exactly what you said, but I called out DaRon Bland. I said he was one of those guys that is. He's a stud because I saw him as a rookie come out and had 4 interceptions. And now
the thing about it is he's following Diggs.
Yeah.
It's not going to work next year. He'll do really well this year. It's not going to work next year. He's jumping routes that he shouldn't be jumping, and it's going to bite him.
10
and I think you're seeing that with the good teams and the experienced quarterbacks. He ain't jumping the routes with Hurts. He ain't going to jump the routes with Purdy. The better quarterbacks. He's going to put himself in a position that's actually going to hurt the team. Yeah. And I think overall, Diggs had so many interceptions his rookie year and stuff. Yeah. I think he's kind of fallen off.
Yeah.
Because he can't jump those routes because he was hurting the team. He was making a big play every once in a while, but you're also giving up touchdown after touchdown.
You got to be able to live, but that's the thing is that you got to live by the fire, and you also got to die by the fire.
There's got to be a medium when you get into the playoffs because the playoffs are one and done.
Completely different. Yeah, that's get
your stats in the regular season, get your bag, and then in the playoffs secure it up. So I'm excited to see him play in the playoffs.
Yeah,
just to see, but
I think I saw him. It's not a funny statistic. He has more touchdowns than
the Patriots wide receiver core.
Oh, that too. But it was I think it was too. It was the Bears wide receiver core. The Patriots oh wow. Yeah. Anyway. So also defensively for the Cowboys,
I would like to go back to that means he's jumping routes.
Yeah.
And there's nothing in front of him. They're not interceptions where he's playing coverage. He's jumping routes and he's doing that. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
He's going to get
for a long period of time. Yeah.
And not against good quarterbacks.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see how he does against some of these other guys. I personally am really excited. I'm interested to see if what you're saying is true because when I watch him, he just looks like he's a guy that like there's guys that have natural feel for the football and when the ball's in the air, they just know where it's going to be, even if their back is turned against the play. So I'm excited to see like what happens moving forward because now quarterbacks know about this guy. Now teams know about this guy. We'll see how he does throughout the rest of the season because
a lot of chair routes.
Yeah,
a lot of chair routes.
Yeah. But overall, yeah. So the Cowboys took away the win here. It is what it is. You're gonna hear me say that a lot on the show because I'm just salty about my Vikings this Tuesday morning. So anyway, after the Cowboys and Commanders, you have the 49ers and Seahawks. The 49ers are scaring me right now. Like I just want to go out there and say that I know that we're on a 3-game losing streak.
I think they just talked to Brock Purdy and said, don't lose the game. Yeah. He's not producing crazy stats.
But he's not losing it either.
Yep, that's the thing. That's what you need.
He's completing 70% of his passes, 209 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Christian McCaffrey is Christian McCaffrey. So
he's getting his playmakers the ball out in space and letting them make plays. And they are.
Yep.
Debo, it's nice to see Debo up here.
Yep.
Because that was one thing that they were getting away from is you weren't seeing Debo in that stat line very much. McCaffrey's doing, McCaffrey things.
Yeah, McCaffrey is doing. I mean, there's really not a lot you can say about the guy because he comes in. Yeah, his touchdown streak ended, but it looks like he may be starting another streak. We'll see. So on defense too. I mean, I know that you lost Talanoa Hufanga, who to me and for my money was one of the best all around defensive safeties in football. But I mean, this defense still has not missed a beat. I know they're going to miss him. Jair Brown has looked really good though in his absence. You have Eric Armstead who had a sack. Javon Ardgram had a sack and a half. I mean, Nick Bosa had a couple of sacks. I mean, this is Santa Claus is coming early because everybody's making plays on this defense. And honestly, I think that the 49ers, they continue to show us that this team is for real. And I know that, they had the losing streak, whatever, who cares? They've won 3 straight, 8-3. I think when it comes down to between them and the Eagles, I think that's what it's going to be in the NFC championship game is Eagles 49ers. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
Yeah, I think
that's pretty bold prediction there, Colton.
Pretty bold, yeah.
The two best teams in the NFC.
Yeah, way to go out on a limb, Colton. Yeah, I will
Slow
say,
down.
little while. Yeah, I got to see what's in my coffee. The Seahawks, though, how do you fall this much off of a cliff?
Oh, Geno. Like I'd be honest with you, it's Geno. Like Geno's the magic slippers. It's starting to.
It wore off.
Yeah, it's time to put your big boy pants on and realize you got 3 really good receivers.
Yep.
And your best receiver had 41 yards.
Yep.
Like they can't throw themselves the ball.
No.
And then offensively, you got to go back to what works.
Yep.
That's pounding the ball, your run game. If you got to use it, if you have to use, what Charbonnet or
Charbonnet.
Yeah. He had only 14 carries. Your next guy was Geno Smith with 4 carries.
Yep.
You have to just continue to pound the ball and slow the game down and take the ball away from San Francisco because it seemed like every time San Francisco had the ball, they march down, they score. Yeah. And they march down and score. And that kills an offense, that kills a defense. So
yeah, it does.
You just need to pound the ball and see and find where your playmakers are. Maybe get into those jet sweeps with those fast receivers. Maybe get into more screens and stuff.
Yes.
And move your bigger guy to DK into like a slot position where he's running slants and outs and stuff. Put Geno in a situation that he's going to succeed because right now they have him in a situation that seems like they're always playing from behind.
Yeah.
And he's not built for that.
No, he's not. And I think that I understand that also to a degree that, I mean, you saw what he did last year.
And throw the ball to Jake Bobo.
Yeah, I know, right? I know. Jake Bobo's one of my favorite players.
Gosh.
This entire offseason, or about coming into the draft and everything. Yes. I was so excited about Jake Bobo, and now they just, I don't know. They just don't seem to want to give him the football.
They have a really good offense. I really truly think they have a good offense. They have a decent defense. I think you see glimpses of Legion of Boom. Honestly,
you do.
And
it's improved greatly this year.
Yeah, but I think they are. They banked on Geno and they rolled the dice. I think it's time.
Yeah, I definitely I concur. Yeah.
I could see like like a Mac Jones or somebody coming off a rookie deal going to Seattle and actually having big success.
Yeah, because it's not like they don't have the weapons.
Yeah,
it's like you have three stud wide receivers. You got 2 stud running
even
backs.
Maybe even I'm gonna get chastised for this, but even maybe like a Zach Wilson. You know, somebody that's coming off a down year that you can roll the dice again on and still hit while he's young. Geno's not young. What do you got? 2-3 years left in Geno, maybe.
Yeah, but that's the thing with
and then make Geno your backup, and then you have a veteran backup to kind to go to these younger guys.
Yeah,
because Mac Jones and Zach Wilson, if they're talented.
So do you think so what's the problem with Zach Wilson and the Jets? We'll get into the Jets here in a second, but like when you
New York is a hard place to play.
That's true. It is a very hard place to play.
And when you don't play well, and you're thrown in there as a rookie, and you don't play well, you can't go anywhere. You can't do anything, and you can't turn the TV on.
Yep. Well, and I think also at the same time of it, it's like if you look at the weapons in New York and you also look at the weapons in Seattle, like there's weapons in New York right now. It's just a matter of it's just
I'll be honest, like just watching their last couple games, I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is going to be the answer either.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think anybody at this point. The Jets, they're not a dumpster fire, but it's like they're not nearly going up through expectations. I think Rob Saleh might be looking for. I don't know what's gonna happen.
I mean, I like Saleh, but I don't think he's gonna be around very much longer.
Yeah, I like him a lot too. I think his defenses have been pretty good, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna be one of those things where if they can put something together towards the end of the year, great. But I'm not banking on it. Speaking of the Jets, the Miami Dolphins took care of business. I mean, you want to talk about?
Did you see that chunk at Tua's arm?
Yeah, I was.
It looked like a shark bite.
Yeah, I honestly, I mean, I know that it was also like even for Tua, this was kind of a down day, like in quotations, because 21 of 30, 243, a touchdown, 2 picks. But overall,
that's Tua trying to force the ball.
Yeah.
If you notice, Waddle is your leading receiver.
Yeah.
That's Tua trying to force the ball.
Yeah. 8 for 1 my fantasy team thanks you.
Because here's the deal: is Tyreek Hill, 9 receptions, 102 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, that's a great stat line.
But not for Tyreek.
That's not a Tyreek Hill stat line.
Yeah.
And everybody's seeing the 2,000-yard mark.
Yeah.
And you're aware of it. Mm-hmm. So you try to force the ball a little bit. I don't think those interceptions aren't anything I would be worried about. I think Tua will be fine.
Yeah, Oh, no, I'm not worried about
He's just trying to help
Dolphins.
his teammate out, trying to get to that 2,000 mark.
Yeah. And I think,
And the 1 week I sit Waddle.
I know, right? I was like, I was terrified. I was like, okay, so do I start Tank Dell or Waddle? Now I found a way to start both. And so I was like, we'll just see how both of them do. And I was pretty happy with the result. Tank Dell did.
Yeah,
that was.
So my kid always asks me, he's like, "Who'd you start, Dad? Who'd you start?" And I hate because I have Douglas on my team, and so I just put Douglas in.
Okay.
And then I forgot to go back and switch it out.
No.
And I also had Ford in, and I was gonna put Pacheco in.
Oh no!
And I forgot to set the whole lineup.
Okay. Well, that happened.
But thank God the Chargers are horrible, and Keenan Allen did really well, but Eckler didn't, and I ended up winning by 4.
Did you really? Nice.
So,
jeez, I've won 2 straight now. It's not pretty though. It's still 3 and 4 and 8. Not good.
I'm 1 in the league.
You're number 1 in the league right now.
Yeah, and it's funny because like I don't ever pay attention to that league.
You just kind of.
I have a bigger league that I always like really focus on. Mm-hmm. Well, then I had one of my because we're all friends in there, so he was talking mad crap.
Yeah,
and I go, all right, man, I'll just pay attention to this league.
Yeah. And
I went from like last place to first place.
There we go. There we go. Taking care of business. So if you guys need advice, make sure you send them to First Amendment Media, SD@gmail, and we'll make sure to help you out with Ben here. He'll get you some good advice. So,
I don't know about
that. Yeah. Raheem Mostert, 20 carries, 94 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was a guy that I think he was coming back from injury, and I was kind of like, okay, if he comes back, how good are they going to be? But Devon Achane, I'm excited to see what happens when he gets back. Hopefully he gets back pretty soon. But defensively, I mean, you got after Zach Wilson. I mean, you want to talk about
Zach Wilson.
Tim
Boyle.
Yeah, Tim Boyle. Sorry, that's right. Yeah,
Timmy.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Anyway, so yeah, Tim Boyle. You got after Tim Boyle here because you had a sack with Jalen Phillips. You had Christian Wilkins, who had a couple of sacks. Deshaun Hand had a sack. Emmanuel Ogbah had a sack and a half. Zach Seiler had a sack, like half a sack for Andrew Van Ginkel. That is an actual football player. That's not me making that up.
How dumb do you feel if you're Dalvin Cook?
I
don't want to say dumb. How silly.
I think he kind of swindled the Jets, though, if you think about it, because he's still got a mini bag going to the Jets, and he's not near what we expected.
But you want to win.
True, but at the same time, it's like he had kind of lost a step.
He looks good.
I mean, yes, he does, but he's still. If you compare him to his second and third year, there was a different Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, I mean, if you compare anybody, their second and third year, but they're not using him. He's not getting like any roster bonus or any bonuses.
Incentives,
he's not getting to it.
Yeah,
because 1 carry for 2 yards.
Yeah,
and then you got Breece Hall. I understand. Yeah, you fell behind fast.
Yeah,
but this is not how you beat Miami.
No.
You don't try to go into it and beat Miami and outscore Miami. You're not going to.
Yeah.
You slow the pace. You keep Miami's offense off the field. Yep. And you try to keep it to that 21-14, 24-21 game.
Yep.
Don't let Miami get up and then start playing from behind. Yep. You get the ball right away. This is the one time I would definitely not defer. Yep. And let Miami have the ball right away.
No.
This is something that I would get the ball right away, and I would pound it and pound it and pound it, and hopefully, get 3, get 7, and then slowly work your way up like that. But yeah, you can't try to outscore Miami. It's not going to happen.
Not going to happen. The Colts and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I still like somehow the Bucs are still in the playoff race. They probably have more of an argument to be more in the Vikings right now. But the Colts got it done. 27-20 was the final score over the Bucs. Baker Mayfield, though, I don't have anything bad to say about the guy.
I like Baker. I mean, he's just not. They're not a good team. I mean, they're a good team, but they're not a great team. Their defense is lacking. To be honest,
taking a step back.
I like White. Evans had a big game. 2 touchdowns. He bailed Baker out. You know, but Baker does continue to make that one bad decision.
Yeah,
and he's trying to do too much.
Yeah,
Baker. You're on a 4-7 team. Just do what you do.
Take care of the football.
Yeah.
Don't do anything stupid. Give it to White. Spread the ball around a little bit. Go from there. But it is tough. But I also know that, I mean, you're, like you said, on the flip side of that, you're on a 4-7 team. You're trying to make them 5-6. You're trying to help them out.
Yeah, but you can't overdo it. And and that's what you saw with him in Cleveland is he constantly tried to overdo it. Yeah. And when Baker tries to push it, this isn't college football anymore, Baker.
Yeah.
This is the NFL. These players are very, very good. And they're very
best in the world.
Yeah, they're elite.
Yeah.
So you got to be able to make the plays that you can make and you feel comfortable making. Yep. If you don't feel comfortable doing it, then don't try to make the play. Don't try to fit it into a tiny window.
Yeah.
That's not your game.
That's not you. Yeah. Well, and also defensively, the Kalijah, we talked about them kind of going off a little bit, but the rookie Kalijah Kancey getting another sack. This was a close game all around. But the Colts, to me, if you didn't start Jonathan Taylor like me, I want to go out there and
start Jonathan Taylor?
I had so many other backs and so many other receivers. I should probably trade him. I wonder what I could get for Jonathan Taylor because I honestly think I need.
You could probably get a lot. You should have got a lot when you should have traded him right away when he came back. But this is a good game to trade Taylor.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't trade Taylor.
You wouldn't trade him? Because I don't know. I got to look back at my running backs because I think I wanted to go with Gus Edwards because I thought he'd scored a couple touchdowns and was doing pretty hot. So I think I might need to switch those guys out. But overall, I mean, the Colts came away with one here, currently sitting at 6-5. Gardner Minshew, 24-41, 251, no touchdowns and a pick. He did run one in though. Michael Pittman Jr. had 10 catches for 107 yards. This defense did.
It is going to be fun to watch Pittman Jr. and Harrison Jr. and all these. I think Darius Slay.
Yep,
he's a junior, isn't he?
I think so, something like that.
Yeah, and these guys that are NFL greats kids are coming up.
Yeah,
and it's a lot of fun to see because you can almost tell you're just like that. Yeah, you can see glimpses of what their dad were, and it's really cool to see.
Yeah, I agree. I think that
now go out and get Randy Moss's kid. I think he's still playing tight end somewhere.
Right. That's the Marvin Harrison Jr. Get Marvin Harrison Jr. too, and the Randy Moss's kid, and then it will not be a fair matchup in any way. But okay, so the Colts took care of the Bucs. I'm really sorry to say it, Ben, but we've got to talk about the Giants and the Patriots.
I'm okay with it.
You're okay? You've had a couple days to cool down.
I mean, I've realized it is what it is. There's fans actually accusing Belichick of throwing these games.
Huh. Yeah, that just doesn't seem in the DNA for Bill Belichick.
The thing about it is here's my one rant is I'm watching these quarterbacks. Perfect example last night. Dobbs threw 4 interceptions. They stayed with Dobbs. Mm-hmm. Dobbs ended up getting them in the lead. And ultimately, the defense only lasts so long, and I'm not blaming Viking defense or anything like that. But the mistakes, but they stayed with Dobbs. Yeah. Howell, they're staying with Howell. They're talking good about Howell. Mm-hmm. They're talking good about Dobbs. Mac Jones doesn't have that.
Yeah.
Bailey Zappi doesn't even have that.
Yeah.
And they need it. They need to just name a starter and say, hey, because right now, here's the deal. If you're 2-9, you are eliminated from the playoffs.
Or pretty close.
No, you are. They're eliminated.
Officially eliminated?
Yep. Them and Carolina are officially eliminated from the playoffs.
That's rough.
So, that being said, let him play. Let Mac Jones play. You have nothing to lose.
Yep.
The only thing you have, you're potentially in a race for Marvin Harrison Jr., which I would be okay with.
Yep.
Don't go out and get Caleb Williams.
Don't.
Please.
Nope.
But Marvin Harrison Jr., then you can build around whatever you need to build around. I don't think Mac Jones is going to stick around unless there's a coaching change. Mm-hmm. And I do see that in the future. I think they are going to part ways.
Yeah.
But you have to let these guys, these are still young kids. And Mac Jones had a great rookie year. You don't have a year like that and then regress this bad.
Yeah.
You can't. Like it shouldn't happen.
There's no support
What
system.
happened that second year absolutely killed Mac Jones. So now you're coming into Mac Jones as a rookie again. And I want to say that the offensive coordinator is seeing it. And on the sideline, he's explaining it a little bit better. I think they're all frustrated. I think they don't know what's going on. Douglas is the one
bright spot in all this.
But he got clotheslined, and they want to talk about player safety and stuff, and that doesn't get flagged. I don't know what's going on there. And Adrian Phillips said the best. The defense allowed 10 points, and they still lost. Yep. So now the defense's job is to put up zeros, and hopefully maybe they can win.
Yeah, it's like
this is what a goal was.
How can you expect that out of it? Like I don't know. Like this, like you said, they only allowed 10 points. They're getting sacks all over the place. I mean, Jabril Peppers, Christian Barmore,
their
Joel
offensive
Bentley.
line is, let's just say it. The Cole Strange thing was cool.
Yeah.
But it's not working. Get him out of there.
Yeah.
Our offensive line has been bad since Brady left.
Yep.
And it's never really been addressed. He is a defensive guy.
Yep. He
needs to be the defensive guy. You need to bring in a good offensive coordinator, if that's McDaniels or somebody again. And then you need a GM. And that's how you fix this. I don't think Stevenson rushed really well.
Yeah.
And for some reason they stopped giving him the ball.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Yeah. And you're only down. It's not like you're down by 3 touchdowns. You're down by what? 3 points. Yep. It's like
after the first drive of the second half, Bailey Zappi took it down and scored 7. But realistically, his stat line was just as bad as Mac's.
Yeah.
And they're not putting these players in a good place to succeed.
Yeah.
And the defense, here's the deal, is Bill Belichick is a very good defensive coach because they lost probably the defensive rookie of the year and Matthew Judon, who would have been in kind of conversation of defensive player of the year. Mm-hmm. And they continue, and their quarterback and their cornerback are thin.
Yeah.
They had to go out and get J.C. Jackson for pennies.
Yeah.
Which, thank you, San Diego.
Yeah.
Or not L.A. now.
Yeah,
sorry.
LA.
But he's playing really well.
Yeah.
So the scheme when defense works, they need something on offense.
Yeah, they need a little bit of a shot in the arm. And Tommy DeVito, who is not related to Danny DeVito, as we may or may not know.
He still lives with his mom.
He still lives with his mom. Yeah, he was living in their basement, and she still makes his bed.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, me too. I mean, the guy's going out there winning football games and throwing touchdowns. It doesn't matter to me. So 17-25, $191 at 1 tutty.
The way that Hyatt got into the game is going to be scary going forward for the Giants, and I think that's a really good thing. This is something that should have happened earlier in the year. I think he has big playability, explosive ability, and like I said, the Patriot defense is nothing to scoff at. It's the offense that's horrible.
Yeah.
The defense, and he beat the defense consistently.
Jalen Hyatt is, to me, I knew coming out of Tennessee, I thought he was going to be a late first round draft pick. He fell to the the Giants in the second, third round. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I mean, I think he's a player that stretches the field. He also takes shorter passes and makes them into big plays. He's a stud. I'm excited to see what Jalen Hyatt will do for the rest of the season. I think that, so far, obviously without Daniel Jones playing because of the injury and all that, plus things not going exactly according to plan.
Daniel Jones would be another one that I'd like to see over in Seattle.
Yeah. Just trying to see, people with a good support system. And it's apparently from what I'm seeing though, for the Giants, the offensive and defensive coordinators, it's not good right now. They're not talking. That's from what I've seen from multiple reports. It's just not
You
good.
could see it on the sideline.
Yeah, there's a disconnect.
They won the game. This should be a big game. Everybody gets excited about beating the Patriots.
Yeah.
Because they won for so long. I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, those guys were not.
They were not
friendly.
having it. Nope. So Jalen Hyatt, 5 for $109. Also Isaiah Hodgins still gets it done. Catch for 12 yards and a touchdown. Defensively, this defense looked pretty good. Thibodeau had half a sack. Jahad Ward had a sack and a half. A couple of picks by Xavier McKinney and Deontay Banks, the rookie out of Maryland. And so pretty good day for the Giants, finding a way to get a win over the Patriots. We'll see if Mac Jones and the rest of this crew can put it together throughout the rest of the season. If you stick with them.
No, we're tanking for Harrison.
Tanking for Harrison. I'm okay with that. Just stick with the guy, leave him, and see how.
Yeah, just what happens if? Yeah, you got to be able. And I've told my kids this, they're in wrestling right now, and I always go back to my kids. I know, but I explained to them. I go, the only way you're going to get better is to wrestle. The only way you're going to get better is to play football.
Yep.
You're going to get. He can look amazing in practice, which it sounds like he did.
Yeah.
But if you have to play tight, knowing that, Zappy's right behind me, and if I throw this bad pass, if I throw one bad pass, I'm out.
Yeah.
And you got to consistently play tight. Eventually, that weight it breaks
crumbles,
you.
yeah.
And then Zappy's got the same thing.
Yeah.
If I throw bad, then Mac's back in. Just go to a guy and be like, I don't care who it is at this point. I hope it's Mac.
Yeah.
But I didn't even care if it was Greer. And then you go into it.
Yeah.
And you release Greer before.
Yeah.
Just pick a guy, and that's your guy.
Yeah. It is what it is at this point. You just pick a guy and roll with it. I agree. So you got the Steelers and the Bengals right now. I mean, I don't want to say that I still don't know what to make of the Steelers. I understand that this is their first game.
They win bad games.
Yeah. This is their first game as an offense that they put up over 400 yards.
And Jake Browning, he had a good game, but it's the Bengals aren't great without Joe Burrow.
They're not. Joe Burrow is that guy. But I mean, just look at the Steelers though. I mean, the first game after they released their offensive coordinator, what was it? Matt Canada.
Najee.
Najee.
I thought he was gone.
Yeah,
I thought he was.
Hey, but he came out there, and him and Jalen Warren, I think, are a really good 1-2 punch. Because I think if Najee has a bad game, okay, you give it to Jalen Warren. If Jalen Warren has a kind of a down game, you give it to Najee. So hey, those two guys got it done. Ran for over, I want to say 140 yards, something like that. Off the top of my head, but including Kenny Pickett, but Pat Freiermuth,
this
nine
offense
catches, 120 yards.
Here's the deal with the Steelers: is this offense is set up to have the tight ends explode. So if you can get Freiermuth a decent tight end out of the Steelers, go grab him now.
Yeah.
Because Deontay Johnson, I don't think you're going to see much of him. I don't. I think Deontay Johnson is on his way out.
Yeah,
I think he's super frustrated. He's not getting the looks. He's not. He's got all the talent in the world.
Yep.
But he.
That's the thing, though. Is it even if you're not getting the ball, be a team player. Who cares? You guys won.
Yeah, but there was reports going into this week where they were already fighting.
Yeah.
I don't know. What I watched, I haven't seen ever. And your teammate fumbles and you look at the ball. At least Cam Newton looked like he was going to try to get on the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Deontay Johnson just nope.
He was just, I'm not even going to chase that guy down. I'm just like, oh. Yeah, he's not happy. But overall, you got to win. That's all that matters. TJ Watt just continues to get it done. I don't care what anybody says. The man is an absolute stud. Cam Hayward had a sack as well as Nick Herbig, the rookie coming up out of Wisconsin. And for the Bengals, like you said, like they're just not good without Joe Burrow. Like they're just, I mean, they can't run the ball. Joe Mixon did 8 carries for 16 yards.
Joe Mixon is, I don't want to say Joe Mixon's washed, but he's not what he used to be.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase without Joe slinging it, and you're still not getting Boyd involved.
Yep.
Like Irv Smith Jr., like you got to be able to get those guys involved.
Yeah.
I know Irv Smith is a little bit older, but he definitely has his up value.
Yeah. He's still athletic. Like people forget about how athletic he was coming up out of Bama.
And who was the other one? There's a receiver and Irwin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Irwin has big playability. And I think that he's better than that. And he's going to, if he can get off of the Bengals and get somewhere, I think he's going to be a really good receiver somewhere else. Probably a 3 or a 2.
Yeah.
But
I could see it.
Yeah. They need Joe.
They do. We all need Joe.
Yeah. I miss Joe Burrow.
Yes, we do. I do too. And the pay,
is this it? I mean, Joe Burrow's injury history is not great.
It's not. But I think that we've seen a lot of quarterbacks that just, they have a tough time staying healthy, and then sometimes they're able to bounce back, sometimes they're not. I hope it's not it for Joe Burrow. I think that
if you think about it, like Jamar Chase is only so young.
Yep.
Is he? I mean, I know they're friends, but when do you look at him and be like,
man,
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, then I think, so you had the calf now, and also now
you have the knee.
Yeah,
now you have the ankle.
Yep. So I also know that the NFL, like me and my wife were watching the game last night, and she's like, these guys are so fast.
They're so big.
They're so big and fast. I'm like, yeah, you have not, like, Alyssa, you don't even know. Like, it's like getting hit by a buffalo. And I understand that the NFL is different, so the players are bigger, faster. You're going to get hit harder and all that stuff. But overall, you got to find ways to stay healthy. I mean, I know that we're probably spoiled with guys like Tom Brady and guys that were able to stay healthy for long portions of their career. But overall, I don't know if it's a thing where you have to change some things in your life. I don't know what it is, but overall,
the thing about it is he's not one of those guys that goes out. He's in bed by like 7:00.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good person. I feel like he's a good dude. Yeah. I just don't know. I don't know what it takes or what it's going to have to take to stay healthy.
Some people just have that bad luck.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking of bad luck, Frank Reich is out as the head coach of the
That's not
Panthers.
bad luck, man. That is well earned.
That is just bad.
But who in their right mind goes into Carolina, knowing that the ownership wants to win now?
Yep.
And I like Bryce Young. I like Alabama, but I don't know if Bryce Young is an NFL quarterback. And I've said that before the draft. I've said that.
Yep.
And I don't know. Like this is going to be a hard sell to any good coach. You're going to have to find that young guy. Mm-hmm. I could see Mayo. I could see
Ben Johnson from the Lions or somebody.
Yeah, I could see someone trying to jump in there.
Yep.
And kind of spark in this, but they're not a good team.
Here's the thing. Defensively, they have been solid top 10 for the past 4 or 5 seasons. Like they've legitimately had a really good defense for a long time. Jeremy Chin and all of them are studs. Offensively, you've struggled to find that guy that's your signal caller. That is, they went through the whole Sam Darnold stage. They went through PJ Walker. That now they've got Bryce Young and all that. But overall,
and they don't really have any weapons. No, they don't really have that receiver.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Adam Thielen had a fast start, but now he's kind of tapered off.
He's old, man.
Yeah, I'm hoping Jonathan Mingo can step up in that regard, hopefully. But overall, I think that
I like Chark.
Yeah, Chark's not bad.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. I think that you need, if you're the Panthers, you just need a quarterback, a coach that is going to really light a fire under this quarterback. That's going to bring something different. That's going to bring in that kind of light a fire into this, like we were kind of talking about, like bring in creativity, put him in spots where he's most successful in. Because I think there's something to salvage here, but it has to be the correct coach.
Here's my deal. Is I kind of agree with you. But I also, these are grown-ass men. So to light a fire under a grown-ass man that has gotten to this level, maybe you shouldn't have to.
That's a good point. Maybe
you should, the people that you consider GOAT right now, Tom Brady, Bill Belichick never had to light a fire.
Maybe it's not
Jalen Hurts
never had to light a fire.
Never. Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
No,
maybe
these great quarterbacks
wasn't the correct term.
I think you need to go back to
what makes him most successful.
Yes,
I think you need to get a coach in there that either it may not necessarily worked with him in the past, but that knows that can study him
open-minded enough to create an offense around Bryce Young because that's going to be your guy.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's kind of how the approach you have to have, especially because they're not going to move on from him. They just drafted a number 1 overall this year. Excuse me. It's going to be next year when they are potentially looking for
They're
another
number 1 right now.
Yeah.
Man.
So it's like they.
Or do the Bears get that?
Hold on. We're going to look at 2024 draft order right now. If the season.
I'm pretty sure it's Carolina. But for some reason,
it's got to be Carolina because the Bears just won last night. So, but overall, the Bears still have 2 top 5 overall picks.
Yeah.
So, right now it is the Bears because of the trade with the Panthers. So, that's right. They did trade that. So, right now, I don't know that the Panthers actually have a first-round pick, which is rough. That's very rough.
Okay over there?
Yeah, no, I'm okay. I'm sorry. I'm about burping. That's the coffee gets to me in the morning. Yeah. But Chicago Bears, they've got that. They've got the 1 and the 4 overall picks. So they might be able to get Justin Fields some help there with Marvin Harrison Jr.
You better go to the Patriots. That's all I'm gonna say.
You're pounding on the table for this guy, and I get it because he's the best player in the country right now. But for the Titans, I'm not gonna say that Will Levis did anything good, but he also didn't do anything bad. 18 of 28 for $185.
He did what he was supposed to do and gave the ball to Derrick Henry.
Yep, that's all. I think Derrick Henry now joins the list of like players that I think what was the stat line, like 9,000 yards and like 80 some odd touchdowns. He's still getting it done. Like 18 carries, 76 yards and 2 touchdowns. Derrick Henry to me for my money, he's in my mind. I think he's a Hall of Famer. I do.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think at this point, you've seen him run. You've seen him the different things he's done throughout the NFL. We'll go over his stat line here real quick, but overall, Derrick Henry to me is a Hall of Famer, and this was a game that just shows that he's still got a little something. Over 730 yards of rushing this year. He's ran for 2,000 yards in his career before, 84 career touchdowns, just on the ground. So he got it done. And like we talked about with Will Levis, like you said, he did what he had to. Give the ball to Derrick Henry, let him do his thing. And go from there.
Yeah, he found DeAndre Hopkins three receptions. 49 yards. So he gave Hopkins the ball in space and let Hopkins kind of do his thing. So.
Yeah, and it wasn't like he was trying to force the ball. No. It was just they got the win over the Panthers, and
it was a close game. It was. Bryce Young had a chance to win it at the end.
That's true. But speaking of quarterbacks, that. CJ Stroud and the Texans fell to the Jacksonville Jaguars 24-21.
Gotta win those games.
You do have to win those games. Especially, this is in division. Mm-hmm. Before this game, the Texans were pretty much firmly in the playoff race. And now this happens. So, Trevor Lawrence... Sorry, go ahead.
Jacksonville's a good team.
Yeah.
CJ looked decent. He looked good, to be honest with you. He ran the ball too much. Mm-hmm. He ran the ball too much.
And Trevor Lawrence wasn't bad. 23 of 38, 364, touchdown and a pick. Threw a touchdown to Calvin Ridley. Also ran in a touchdown, did Lawrence. Travis Etienne,
You need to get him the ball in space. This running between the tackles stuff, it's not his game.
Yeah.
Let's get back to what works.
Yeah.
Because this was a must-win game. You squeaked by.
Squeaked is a good way to put it.
Another foot. And you're in overtime.
Yep. And the Jaguars to me, they squeaked by. They're 8-3 right now. They're getting it done. They're going to make the playoffs. To me, this is where I really want to see this offense come alive now.
This is what I've been saying though. They're a good team. They're not a great team.
Yeah, I don't see them being a deep run playoff team, but we also thought they weren't going to beat the Chargers last year, and they did. And they gave the Chiefs a game.
I thought they were going to beat the Chargers last year.
Oh, well, some people didn't. Anyway, they also gave the Chiefs a game last year.
Yeah.
Like people forget that. So, they could go into the first round and completely kaput, or they could make a run. We'll have to see what happens. I don't think that they're a deep playoff team right now. I need to see more.
2 weeks before this, you did.
Yeah, I did. And now after seeing them go against an AFC South opponent and barely squeak by, I'm just kind of like, because it's the same thing with the Vikings right now. I had thought that the Vikings were a team that maybe could shock some people, but if you get into an actual situation right now where you play an in-divisional opponent that really matters, and your offense is still not quite, because we're still waiting on that game where we see all these weapons and everything come together for the Jaguars. If that happens by the end of the season, I'll go back on the wagon train and be like, yeah, I think they can put up points. They can do enough defensively to keep them in games. Yeah, I would say that again. But right now,
I just don't think you're going to see it. I mean, Calvin Ridley's getting his, then Kirk. But you still only got 5 receptions for Ridley and 4 receptions for Kirk.
Yeah,
and then Evan Ingram, he's kind of regressing. He's got 5. He's going to be like a safety valve. Yeah. And Zay Jones, 1 reception for 10 yards.
Yeah, we're just not seeing enough. I want to see that wow game. That put up 35 plus. And
you need to stretch the field is what needs to happen, and then it creates space for ETN.
Yeah, I agree. I think that we got to see we're wanting more. There's the tantalizing aspect of it. Like we know they can do it. It's a matter of will they, and I haven't seen it at this point. CJ Stroud, though, 26 of 36, 304 and 2 touchdowns. I mean, he also ran into touchdowns. I don't think you can really ask more of CJ Stroud.
No, he did well. He got his team into a spot that they should have tied it. Yep. And like I said, they were about a foot to 2 foot short on the field goal.
Yep. Tank Dell overall. Hey, I'm pretty happy with Tank Dell. I'm going to start this man the rest of the season. 5 catches for 50 yards and a touchdown. He also had a carry for 12 yards. I think that he needs to be at least in the discussion for being a offensive player of the year because I do. Look at this. So 47, 709, and 7 touchdowns. Offensive player of the year with CJ Stroud. Now, CJ Stroud probably deserves this award. I'm not going to take that away from him, but Tank Dell deserves a lot of credit. Tank Dell's been an absolute stud from the moment that he
Stroud will win Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, he'll win it, but I'm saying he needs to be in the conversation because, yes, absolutely, because he came into a team like the Texans. Nobody knew this guy. Everybody was talking about C.J. Stroud and all these other guys.
You're saying he deserves Offensive Player of the Year.
He deserves consideration, yes.
Over Tyreek Hill?
No, I'm talking Rookie of the Year. No.
You said Offensive Player of the Year.
I'm sorry, I meant Rookie Offensive Player. No, not overall. No,
Stroud. Like that's a given.
I think that CJ Stroud is going to win it, but Tank Dell has done some really good things this year, and I think that you look at these last. We're going to go through these last 4 games. 6 catches, $114, 2 touchdowns.
Who's throwing it to him?
Yes, but still, that's half the battle. Who catches it and runs it does the rest. 6 catches, 56 yards, and a touchdown against the Bengals. 8 catches, 149, and a touchdown against the Cardinals. 5 catches for 50 and a touchdown against the Jaguars. So he's and even the first game of the season when they played the Jags, 5 for $145 and a touchdown. He scored 7 touchdowns, 700 receiving yards for a guy that was a 3rd-round pick. I'm not saying that he's going to win. He's going to win. I know it's going to be CJ Stroud, but you got to put some respect on this guy's name because Tank Dell, to me, has proven that he is not only a number 1 receiver in Houston right now, but he's a guy that you have to account for every Sunday now because anybody can do it for 1 or 2 games, Ben. Anybody can do that. But he has showed continued success throughout the season.
No, I'm sorry, man.
So you don't think he's a number 1 receiver at this point?
No.
For what he's done, the disrespect is real in this motherfather for Tank Dell.
Let's be honest. You got CJ Stroud, Puka Nacua.
I mean, let's.
Then you got Gibbs,
Puka Nacua,
Robinson, Addison. As a Viking fan, you shouldn't forget about Addison.
He's completely disappeared. Okay, so.
And then
he's only 100 yards behind Puka Nacua. He scored twice as many touchdowns.
Zay Flowers has completely turned the Ravens' offense around.
Zay Flowers has 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, but he's that guy. And then
he has less receptions and more yards and more touchdowns than Zay Flowers. He's got less receptions, just slightly less yards than Puka Nacua, and he's got twice as many touchdowns. Who else? Go ahead, give me another one. I'll hit it out of the park again.
Out of the park? You're not even close.
What are you talking about, man? I just gave you gave me 2 receivers, and I told you why Tank Dell is playing better than all of them right now. All I'm saying is,
what about Addison?
Addison, he's completely fallen off the map. Like, if you look over these last, 3 or 4 weeks, yeah, he's got the same number as touchdowns as Jordan Addison, but now defenses are realizing, he's that number 1 guy, and he's the guy we have to stop.
Who's coming back? This is bye week now. After the bye week, we hope.
We hope. We don't know. Like,
if I'm a Viking fan, I'm terrified right now. Because the last thing you want is that loss to the Bears probably helped because you don't want the Vikings ownership to think that they can win without Jefferson, because Jefferson will be on the first flight out.
He's not going anywhere. He's not going to be.
That's what they said about Diggs.
But
Diggs is our guy. He ain't going anywhere.
Dude, that was also Rick Spielman, who's the king of smoke screens, and said we're not trading Percy Harvin. That dude was on a flight that afternoon after being traded. Justin Jefferson is a different case because of
Percy Harvin smoked weed before every game.
And I'm not gonna necessarily disagree, but I'm also not going to say that he was anything. Anyway, Tank Dell is the man. All I'm saying is that the guy deserves a lot of credit for what he's done this year. That's all I'm saying. So, okay. So Jaguars, Texans. After Ben's hate for Tank Dell, let's see.
I don't hate him. He's just not rookie of the year.
I think he deserves. Okay, we're not going to another 15-minute rant. I'm sorry. Okay, so Falcons and the Saints. Derek Carr, was he worth 150 million?
No.
I think that the Raiders could have kept him, and I think that they would be more of a I think they would be at least in a similar situation.
The Saints are in a bad spot. I mean,
cap hell next year.
You gotta. So you have Taysom Hill. You're not using Taysom Hill to his ability. That's he's only got 2 receptions, 55 yards and 2 receptions, and then he's got 7 carries for 26 yards. I mean, this guy can move the ball in space, but you lose Olave and I forgot the other one, but Olave got hurt, and who else got hurt?
Was it Rashid Shaheed?
I don't remember, but all I know is you lost 2 good receivers in this loss, and Atlanta's starting to. They're not
figure it out, kind of.
They're not great, but they're not. They're gonna win their division.
Yeah, which isn't really saying much.
Yeah. Ritter, he still threw 2 interceptions. I don't know if he's gonna be, but they're staying with him. So good for Atlanta.
You're just another case where you're just like
I don't understand. Yeah. But Robinson, he's gonna be a good player.
Yeah.
And then Drake London, he's also putting up numbers.
Yeah.
Let's get Pitts involved a little bit more, and then we'll go from there.
They've been saying that for like 3 years, though. So it's I don't know. I do think that the Saints, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how they navigate through this cap situation in the offseason. But right now, I think the Falcons are showing that clearly they're still in the playoff race. Desmond Ridder played well, like you talked about, as well as with Bijan Robinson, who in my mind, I mean, he scored a couple of touchdowns, over 120 all-purpose yards. And defensively for the Falcons, I feel like they've been better. They've really improved a lot. Jesse Bates had a pick. You also had Arnold Epikidi, the former 2nd-round pick, who had a sack. So this is a better team, and this was NFC South matchup that you're like, okay, somebody's got to win this and somebody's got to go to the playoffs. I do think that I understand that you need to have a team from every division that goes to the playoffs, but at the same time, part of me is like, do we though? Like when you have
the thing about it though is sometimes they put this stuff together, and the Falcons are set up where if Ritter has a good game, they could play with like an NFC team that they could probably play with. You could probably play with most of the NFC teams. I could see them being able to play with like the Cowboys.
Yeah.
To be honest, if Riddler has a good game, they have the weapons surrounding them, and their defense isn't horrible.
No, yeah.
Like they could potentially play with the Cowboys. I think the Eagles and 49ers are kind of off the map.
Their own thing.
But, you could play with, the middle tier in the NFC and probably be okay.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that they are, again, if Desmond Ridder is efficient, he gives the ball to Bijan, they can spread the ball around.
If I'm Detroit, I don't want to see the Falcons.
Really?
Yeah.
You're that afraid of the Falcons?
I'm not that.
I'm not afraid, but like you think they can.
I'm just
play
saying.
with
I think that they set up against Detroit very well.
Mm-hmm. That would make some sense because if you keep Detroit's offense off the field, you have a shot. I think that goes for. I mean, Detroit. I think that goes for the Eagles.
And they're set up to do that. I mean, with their running game, their short passing game. Drake London's a big-bodied receiver.
Yeah,
get him out. And they can just kill you by the first down.
Yeah,
and
Well, and I think
that's where you see Detroit really struggle.
Yeah, I think that's going to be. I mean, that's the question. The biggest question I have about the Detroit Lions right now is like, is this offense going to be able to kind of get back on track, but also like, how's this team going to look in the playoffs? Because they're going to the playoffs, we know that, but it's just how far is this team going to go? That's my ultimate question with the Detroit Lions. But okay, so now as for the Rams and the Cardinals, Matt Stafford 25 of 33, 229, 4 touchdowns and a pick. Kyren Williams had a big day.
Yep.
Did his thing. Also scored a couple of 2 total touchdowns through the air. And I mean, the Rams took care of business against one of the worst teams in the NFL.
Stafford's back. Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray wasn't horrible.
He's done. It's I think that there's going to be definitely going to be traded in the offseason. He was 27 to 45, 256 and a touchdown is what it is. But overall, and yes, he ran one in, but I don't know. Like the Rams completely controlled this game, and I think that they're going to be at a spot where, I mean, we'll see.
The Cardinals are playing bad.
Yeah.
Like they're set up to play bad right now. So
yeah, I just don't think that there's
Phew.
Yeah, and so then you got the Broncos somehow.
If this is another one, the Broncos are the same as the Falcons.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. Like they could surprise a couple of people, and I'm not a big Broncos guy.
Me either.
But if Russ does what Russ needs to do, and he didn't have to
do a whole lot.
They put up 29 points. He threw for 134 yards and a touchdown. You know,
I mean, the rest of this team took care of it. Like, I mean, you had Dorian Thompson, DTR out there, who was not horrible, 14 to 29, $134 and a touchdown. But I mean, we've seen worse, especially from the Browns overall. But I mean, this defense, Joke had a sack, and all these guys. I was kind of shocked to see Myles Garrett didn't get a sack, but I mean, they kind of put him in a tough spot. I mean, because like you said, Russell Wilson, 13 of 22, 134 and a touchdown. The Broncos, to me, though. And I also ran one in as well. But the Broncos, to me, are showing that they can play with some good teams. They're a little bit clippier than a lot of other people thought. You know, currently won 5 straight, something like that. And it's been, I think that they've shown a lot and they've done some really good things. So we'll have to see kind of how they go out the rest of the season. But this defense looks good. Zach Allen was a big time addition for him, and I think the Broncos are in a good spot right now. I definitely think that. So. And then after that game, we got to go into real quick the Bills and the Eagles. Yikes.
Josh Allen, man.
Yeah, Josh Allen.
You're not the guy.
29 to 51, 339, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Somehow, like my buddy Mitchell was texting me during the game. He's like, dude, I just need him to pull it out. I just need him to...
0-6 overtime games.
Yeah. It's not good. I don't understand. Like when the chips are down, you need to find a way to get it done. And Josh Allen, I mean...
They had it won, too. I mean, that pass was...
Yeah.
And you can say that the receiver is supposed to stick his head up, and that wasn't the route.
Yeah.
I mean, he obviously that was just a bad pass by Josh Allen.
I think this is like they have the talent. It's just what is it going to take for them to put the whole package together? And for the Eagles,
I honestly think the Bills are done after this year because Diggs is going to leave. You're going to see. And I think you're already starting to see Diggs kind of. He had as fantasy value. He has still fantasy value. He's going to have his 100 yards or whatever. Yeah. But you're watching Gabe Davis. You're watching these guys.
Shakir and all those guys,
kind of step up and make the bigger plays that Diggs should be making.
Yeah.
So I think it's already kind of in progress that Diggs is on his way out.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, you got the Eagles too. That 37-34 was the final score. But Jalen Hurts, 18 of 31, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns and a pick. Also ran in 2 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts is the man right now. The Eagles...
That offensive line is something else.
It is just so fun to watch. I mean, Devonta Smith had 7 for 106 and a touchdown. A.J. Brown had a touchdown. Alameda Zaccheaus also had a touchdown. Just top to bottom right now, the Eagles to me they're just a juggernaut. Obviously they're going to be the team that's the favorite to go to the NFC Championship game, even the Super Bowl representing the NFC right now. I just don't see... I mean, to me, this is showing that Jalen Hurts is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Like he is probably top 5. No, he just plays. He just plays 5 total touchdowns.
He's business, and when you hit that level, it's scary.
It's tough. It is absolutely tough. I think he's playing like a top 10 quarterback or a top 5 quarterback right now.
I would say he's probably
top 3.
I would say he's the top quarterback in the league right now.
The top quarterback in the league right now. I would say at least top 3, but I think overall he is playing very well.
I don't know who I'd rather have him. It doesn't matter. They can be down. They can be up. His emotion doesn't change, and the way he acts on the field doesn't change. He doesn't panic. He doesn't try to make the plays that he's not supposed to be making. He knows he's so smart with this game.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
It's just so tough. It's so tough when a player is so talented and also so smart. Like good luck trying to stop that one.
But. And if you watch it, he's one of the only quarterbacks. He gets to the goal line, and he's here, and he's right here.
Yeah.
As soon as he gets to the goal line and he sees the one guy that might be able to hit him, he covers right away.
He's just so smart and talented.
Yeah, like he knows this game, and he's definitely a student.
Yep, absolutely. And now we got the Chiefs and the Raiders.
If you tuned in at halfway through the second quarter and you're a Raiders fan,
you were pretty pumped.
Yeah, you were.
I was going.
Here we go.
I was like, all right. They went up 14-0 to start out, and then the rest of it happened. The rest of the game, I'm just like. Okay, this defense. Max Crosby was also injured, so that's your best.
And they did something
player.
I told you that they need to do. Here it is. 6 for 91. And that, I mean, they took away Kelce for the whole half.
Yeah.
And they were winning.
Yep.
And then Kelce got involved and.
I mean, Rashee Rice had himself a game, 8 catches, 107 yards, and a touchdown. Mm-hmm. That's another guy that said he's been good in spurts. But Isaiah Pacheco, 15 for 55 and 2 touchdowns. Like this defense, it just seems like the wind is out of their sail at certain times. And George Karlaftis, he got a sack on Aiden O'Connell. You could kind of see, they both were college teammates together, so you could kind of see them both kind of messing with each other. But overall, this game for the Raiders, I still say you stick with Aiden O'Connell, obviously, because he's still a good player. This game is not really on him. Like, he did not put them in a position that was going to hurt them necessarily. It was the defense. I mean, it's tough for any quarterback to put up 31 points against a good defense like the Chiefs. Like, let's be real about that. So
Jacoby Myers has a good game.
Jacoby Myers,
Josh Jacobs, you're finally seeing the old Josh Jacobs.
Finally. And it's towards the end of the season. So hopefully, I mean, here's the thing, though, as I think he had, I want to say it was 110
yards.
110 yards, but he had like 91 at the half. So he was pretty much shut down the second half. Aiden O'Connell needs to step up in that kind of a situation, but he was 23 of 33 for 248 and a touchdown. A lot of that came in garbage time at the end, but hey, it is one of those things where, I don't know. I think this defense needs to get a lot better.
Here's the big one.
The big one. There's no big one in this anymore. And so then, the Ravens and the Chargers. This isn't a big one. We knew the Ravens were going to win this one.
Yeah, but did we know that Herbie was going to play as bad as Herbie played?
I mean, you did. You've been hating on him all year long, which I get. And plus, you haven't necessarily been wrong in these big games. But I mean, the Chargers are down and out. Like, I don't feel like they've got enough moxie to come back. I think that Staley and everybody, the wind is out of their sail. They just don't seem to have that conviction. And I mean, it was against a good team, the Baltimore Ravens with Lamar Jackson right now.
And realistically, that's a 3-point game.
Yeah.
Until, and I have a bone to pick with Zay Flowers.
Why do you have a bone to pick?
Because I told you this. I was playing against Keenan Allen and Eckler.
Yep.
If he goes down, I don't have a heart attack.
Yeah.
Because all I could envision is they're going to dump it to Keenan Allen and he's going to get some stupid amount of yards and I'm going to lose this game by 1 or 2 because he didn't just take a knee.
Yep.
Come on. I understand you're a rookie. Take a knee in that situation. Get the first down. Take a knee. You don't need to celebrate. But I think going forward after what I saw on the sideline, I think he's going to take.
He's going to learn.
Yeah, he's going to slide.
And he's like you said, he's a young player. But overall, I mean, he had a day. He had a day. What was it? 62 all-purpose yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, he has come alive for that Ravens team. Like, they've wanted that. They've needed that number one guy that could be a difference maker for a long time. And don't get me wrong, guys like Isaiah Likely and Odell has been playing pretty well. We've seen it at Spurs.
Yeah, and you're watching Odell become Odell again. Yeah. And this is the right time. Not a good thing for the rest of the AFC.
Yep. And I think Jadeveon Clowney, Broderick Washington, all those guys. This defense has been good for a while. Herbie Hancock out there is not doing it. No. I mean, 29 to 44, 217 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. 4 carries, 47 yards.
But if you ask any Chargers fan, it's not his fault.
Yeah,
it's the line, it's the receivers. It's just really funny to watch how everybody makes excuses for Justin Herbert, but then you're watching these other quarterbacks and.
There's no other excuses.
No, you don't get those.
So, and I was one of those people at the beginning of the year, but now I've gotten to a point where I'm like, I don't know what's going on. This needs to get better quickly. But overall, the Ravens took down the Chargers. I mean,
and he had a chance to win this game. Yeah. That's the whole thing. Is like, I'd like to point out this. I mean, he had a shot to win this game.
Yep,
twice,
and he just did not do it. And that's what franchise quarterbacks do: is they find a way to win.
You win games.
Now the Vikings and the Bears. I'm going to say this once. I'm going to say this one time.
Game.
Horrible offensive execution. Horrible. However, I like the Vikings' resiliency at the end to come back after 4 interceptions, to come back after multiple turnovers. Everything was down and out. To stay with Dobbs, him to come back and fight like he did, that's admirable.
Yep.
But your defense being on the field for all that game, is it time to see more of Jaren Hall, or do we stick with Josh Dobbs?
I think you stick with Josh Dobbs.
Yeah.
Jaren Hall I think he's going to be a good backup.
I think, honestly, Jaren Hall, I think you stick with Dobbs for now, but after the Raiders game, if things don't start getting going,
nope,
you have to.
With Hall. You stick with Dobbs.
I don't think so, because Jaren Hall, like, people forget his his first quarter that he played before the concussion, he was playing pretty good. What's the worst that can happen? He sucks. So is Dobbs right now. Like Dobbs
is Dobbs is winning you games.
For 58 minutes, 48 minutes for the last 2 minutes of the game, he was awful. And then finally he comes up and finally plays well for
but
that
the thing
last
about
touchdown.
it is look at what he's done before that. He came into
but teams are keen in on him now. He's making mistakes.
Yeah, he is making mistakes, but he'll be all right.
I think that you have to at least consider it because with Jaren Hall, with the way that Dobbs is playing in certain situations, here's the thing. He doesn't need to play like an all-pro, Ben. You just need to have a guy that comes in and doesn't make a ton of mistakes, that can just pick up first downs, pick up third downs and
That's
do that.
With any quarterback.
But I mean, that's the thing is like he's making mistakes. And if it was any other quarterback right now that was making mistakes, it would be kind of one of those things where people wouldn't be making excuses for him. But Josh Dobbs, to me, I think he's an impressive quarterback. I think he has a place in the NFL. I just think that there needs to be better execution. There needs to be a better game plan with him as your quarterback. If he's going to be your quarterback, I want to see more rollout passes. I want to see more read option. I want to see more of him using his legs as opposed to keeping him in the pocket and being a passing quarterback. Because
that's not how their offense is set up. Their offense is set up around Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, well, you need to, as a coach, nobody cares. You have to find ways to win the game. And if that means you change up your offense a little bit.
You lost one game. I mean, you're still in the hunt.
You've lost 2 games in a row.
But
so I think you need to
And the thing about it is you're going to split with Chicago. You're going to split with Detroit, and you're going to split with Green Bay. You see it every year in this division. Mm-hmm. Nobody sweeps that division.
If that happens, they lose. They're out of the playoffs. So that's not an option.
Then they're
at this
out of
point.
the playoffs.
That's not an option at this point. So my thing is, if you're making a push for the playoffs, you have to find a way to build this offense around Josh Dobbs in the next 5 games. Good luck. That's all I got to say. So I think Justin Fields and the Bears, they did exactly what they needed to do in that they ran the ball. They played some good defense to be able to force 4 turnovers and do all that kind of a thing, and also get to Josh Dobbs and company. But, I mean, it wasn't pretty in any stretch of the imagination. And for the Vikings, like we touched on it, I think you got to see what Josh Dobbs can do this next week against the Raiders. But after that, that is your stretch, man. You got a game against the Packers. You got 2 games against the Lions. You got to be able to get it done.
I mean, realistically,
and the Bengals.
You started the year, 0-3?
0-3 and then 1-4, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, your playoff hopes were pretty...
I mean, but then you come back, you win 5 straight,
Yeah, but who won 5 straight?
Kirk Cousins won 3 and then Josh Dobbs won 2.
Yeah, see?
I don't know what you're...
So, I'm just saying Josh Dobbs is going to be your guy.
I think I just want to see better execution. That's it.
Yeah,
TJ Hawkinson,
I can understand that.
TJ Hawkinson, 5 catches for 50 yards and a touchdown. I mean, there's glimpses of him being unstoppable, like he is Thor out there, and then there's glimpses where it's like, dude, catch the ball. So I don't know. Defensively, I don't have a gripe about the Vikings defense. I don't care what anybody says. Danielle Hunter's a stud. Ivan Pace Jr. is a stud.
I mean, you kept a decent offense to 10 points.
And they did not score. And 12 points. They didn't score a touchdown the entire game. And so my gripe is not with the offense or with the defense. Excuse me. If your defense is only going to let up 12 points and no touchdowns, you got to find a way to win the game. I know you turned it over 4 times, but it is what it is there. But
preaching to the choir, bud.
Yep. And now for the recap of the picks. I don't know if I want to do this segment, Ben. I'm feeling a little tired. I might want to go home because this is awful. So Packers, Lions. You pick Packers. I pick Lions. That was just.
Yep.
Do you have a time machine? I swear. So Ben 1, Colton 0. So Commanders, Cowboys. We both said Cowboys. That wasn't very hard. Colton. Ben 2, Colton 1. 49ers, Seahawks. You said 49ers. I was just trying to be nice to the Seahawks. Colton 1 there. So 3-1 is the score. Dolphins, Jets. Both said Dolphins. Not hard. Ben 4, Colton 2. Colts, Bucks. You said Colts. I said Bucks. You got to be kidding me, dude. This is odd. Dude, I'm really dude, I hate this. Just let you guys know, this is the last segment of picks we'll be doing every week. So Patriots, Giants. Both said Patriots. We're trying to show some solidarity. It didn't work out. So B5.
That was that one game. I have no faith anymore.
That was your last stand. Steelers, Bengals again. Ben. Damn, dude, why am I? I'm okay. I'm gonna stop just trying to go against the grain, and I'm actually just gonna pick who I think is gonna win. So Panthers, Titans. I hate the Panthers. I hate the Panthers. I'm done thinking that this is gonna figure itself out. Texans, Jags. I picked the Texans. You picked the Jags. Dude, I don't think I got after the Dolphins. I don't think I got one right after this.
I think I picked the Saints on this one though.
Saints. Yeah, you did. We both picked the Saints. So Ben 8, Colton 2 still. Dude, this is horrible. Rams, Cardinals. We both picked Rams. Great. C3. Broncos, Browns. Damn.
Yep. That happened.
That Bills, Eagles. Oh my God. I was so close.
Horseshoes and hand grenades, bud.
I was so close. Chiefs, Raiders. I don't really mind being wrong about my Raiders because I mean solidarity. Ravens, Chargers.
Yep.
Both Ravens. Yeah, I don't think anybody really thought about that was going to be hard. Vikings, Bears. Vos picked Bears. And yeah, so Ben 14, Colton 6.
So I lost 2.
You lost 2, yeah. So that was pretty good. That was not bad. So okay, so good now week 13, I'm going for blood. Okay, I want you to know that right now. So
that's fine.
So let's see here, week 13, NFL week 13. Come on. So Seahawks, Cowboys. This is on the 30th. That's Thursday. Who do you got?
Cowboys.
Seahawks, Cowboys. Geez, here's the thing: is like I don't know. There we go. I don't know how I feel about some of this, but I am going to go Cowboys, Seahawks, Cowboys. Ben goes Cowboys. Colton goes Cowboys. Okay, and then it is Colts, Titans. I said we just.
I'm going to go with the Titans.
What?
Vrabel.
You think the Titans are going to win this
Vrabel is made for December football. That's when the Titans get tough.
Titans. I'm going. Going Colts. I do think the Colts are going to pull that one out. Okay, so Falcons, Jets. This is just a battle of nobodies.
I'm going to go with the Falcons just because I don't think they have too many weapons.
Falcons. I'm going Falcons too. Saints and Lions. Ooh.
I'm going Lions.
You're going Lions? Saints. Lions. Ben's going Lions. I'll go Lions too because the Saints, Derek Carr, the situation has not ended up well for anybody. Broncos, Texans. Ooh. Broncos.
The Broncos need it more than the Texans right now.
You picked the Lions, right? Sorry.
Yep.
So Broncos, Texans. You're going to go with Broncos?
Yep.
I'm going Texans. CJ Stroud, my man, out here. One of the rookie quarterbacks that's making me look good. Chargers, Patriots. This is a rough subject. You got to pick Herbie. If you think that's the tough part, is like if you don't have any faith in the Patriots, you got to pick Herbie. That's got to sting.
Well, the thing about it is I don't. The Chargers won't score a lot.
Mm-hmm. They'll probably 20 tops.
I'm going to go with the Patriots just because I think that their running game is going to be the difference maker.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'll go, and they'll do something stupid like end up with the 5th pick and be outside of Marvin Harrison just because they're the Patriots. So I'm going to go with the Patriots.
Okay, I'll go Chargers. Cardinals, Steelers.
Steelers.
Yeah, that one's not even hard. Steelers. I'm going Steelers as well. Then we got the Dolphins and the Commanders.
Dolphins,
Commanders. You know, I think this is going to be a Sam Howell come out game, but I'm still going with the Dolphins. Okay. Panthers, Bucks. Can't keep picking.
I'm going to go with the Bucks.
Panthers, Bucks, and you're going with the Bucks.
Do it.
I swear, I just like abuse. I think that's what it's coming down to. I'm going Bucks. I'm done. It's blown up time.
Bucks?
I'm going Bucks.
I'll go Panthers.
Really? No, I'm not letting you do that to me. This is the head games. You know what? Fine. You can go Panthers. I'll go Bucks.
Okay.
Because I am tired. I'm tired of getting beaten. I'm just tired. I've been beaten down all season long. I'm getting backhanded. I've gotten kicked in the face picking the Panthers. I'm done. I'm done picking the Panthers until they show me something.
Okay.
Okay. 49ers, Eagles. Ooh, this is a good game. 49ers, Eagles. Who do you got?
I'm going to go with the 49ers in the regular season, Eagles in the postseason.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with the 49ers right now. The Eagles have looked They've looked susceptible.
Susceptible, yep.
Yes.
Browns. Okay, I'm going to go with the 49ers too. Browns.
Now you're just copying my picks.
No, because I'm actually picking who I think is going to win, not because I have a heart anymore, because I've gotten... Did you see what you did to me last week? 14-6. Not exactly great for Colton. So, yeah, I'm picking who I think is actually going to win, and I think the 49ers are actually going to win. Browns-Rams.
Ooh. I'm going to go with the Rams.
Rams. I think the Browns get off the mat. It was a tough game against the Broncos. Everybody, somehow the Broncos are completely turning it around. I don't know what's going on, but I think the Browns take down the Rams. Okay. Chiefs-Packers. That's not a bad game.
I'm going to go with the Packers.
Please. I'm going Chiefs. I need you. I need the Chiefs to win this game. Please.
It's at Lambeau.
I need the Chiefs to win this game, please.
In December.
Yeah, I need them to win. That's all I know. Bengals Jaguars on Monday night.
Jags.
Oh yeah, Jags. Easy. Okay. So yeah, Bengals Jags on Monday night. Yeah. So all right, so those are week 13 picks. Hopefully Colton can have a little bit better luck other than 14-6.
Well, yeah, you just copied my picks for the most part, so you should have better luck.
Yeah, because I'm done just going with my heart and just going to actually go logically from now on and just stop trying to make excuses for teams that aren't getting it done for me, like the Panthers. Fed up.
They're going to beat the Bucs.
Fed up. I swear to God, the 1 week that I don't pick the Panthers, I'm going to lose it. I'm flipping the table here in the podcast room. So, but yeah, so that's our week 13 picks and also our week 12 recap for our picks. Yeah, so I guess we'll see you guys next week as well as, this is kind of our recap of week 12 too. So anything else you'd like to add before we get out of here?
No, I think we're good.
Cool. Awesome. All right. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for joining us.